In today's background information, we're going to listen to an explanation of how bees work together in the hive.
Why, hello, listeners. Welcome to yet another exciting episode of Wildlife with Dr. Wally. I'm your host, the doctor himself. Today, we're lucky enough to be exploring a beehive. As I've gotten many letters from you kids out there in the big wide world asking how honey is made. I've located a suitable beehive, and we're going to explore it today. I'm excited. Due to a string of nasty bee illnesses, wild beehives are very rare. Luckily, bees have found a home with human beekeepers who protect their bees in man-made frames in which the bees build their honeycomb. Honeycomb is beeswax. The bees make it with their bodies and use it to build their hive. Bees fashion the beeswax into six-sided cells where they store things like honey or even baby bees. Let's take a closer look, shall we? Now, the bees are like a huge extended family. It's almost like a factory where everyone is related to their boss. The queen is that boss, and she lives... here. My beekeeper friend has dabbed some paint onto her body so he can find her quickly. The queen lays a lot of eggs. Sometimes she'll lay an amount of eggs equal to her entire body weight in one day. The queen is always attended to by the worker bees. They feed her, they groom her, and she certainly is impressive. Over here is the nursery. This is where the nurse worker bees take care of the baby bees, which are little wriggly worm-like things called larvae. Oh, they're so cute. And here are some forager bees, preparing to leave on a journey that brings us back to the original issue at hand, the production of honey. Bees make honey for themselves, and in the case of these bees, for humans too. Honey is what bees eat. It feeds the entire hive. The workers eat it, the male drone bees eat it, and the queen eats it. And no wonder. Honey is delicious. The next time you take the time to enjoy some honey, thank a bee. So let's get down to the business of honey, shall we? Now, as you may or may not know, honey is made from nectar, which is sweet flower juice. The industrious honeybee retrieves this nectar from many flowers. The average bee will visit anywhere from 50 to 1,500 flowers a day to get this nectar. And what a trip! Some bees will travel up to 6 miles on each one-way trip to the flower field. Look what we've come upon, kids! We've stumbled upon a genuine bee waggle dance. Bee scouts use a complicated series of wigglings and jigglings to indicate where they found nectar. Oh, look at that one go! Watch those bees taking off. They're like little jet airplanes, all of them. They will all head off to the specified area and drink nectar to their heart's content. Bees have 2 stomachs, one for eating and one for storing nectar. Here comes a group of bees returning from their nectar-gathering flight. Those bees will give up their nectar to other worker bees. Those worker bees will digest and process their juices into honey. Now here comes the important part. Here, we can see the bees spreading out the honey all over the honeycomb. And, good gravy! Looks to me like the bees are flapping their wings really fast. They're whooshing air onto that honey to make it dry faster. You know, honey is less than 20% water. It won't spoil. Bacteria can't live in it, so it's good to keep on your shelf indefinitely. In 1 year, a single beehive eats anywhere from 120 to 200 pounds of honey. So I don't think they'll mind if I just enjoy a little right now. That noise you hear is me taking a tiny piece of honeycomb, the wall of the hive. Honeycomb is full of little boxes of honey plugged with beeswax, and this honey is quite tasty. So kids, I hope I've answered your questions about honey. Tune in next week. I'll be engaged in another fabulous adventure in learning. You heard it here from me, Dr. Wally. Have a nice day and be safe.